What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Friday? Gonna have a good show today. Sam Phelan, our A to Z Titans reporter, is in today for Zach Bingham. Zach is off for the weekend, has a wedding to get to, and he'll be back on Monday. So Sam and I are here to get us one day closer to potentially the Titans' first win of the season. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but the Titans are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. So we, Sam, are going to have a good conversation this morning about unlocking the Titans offense because it has been bad, I guess, since the first quarter of both games. So we're going to unlock the Titans offense. Hopefully this can unlock Derrick Henry a little bit and the Titans can get in the winning column for all of you who have been down in the dumps since Monday night's blowout to the Buffalo Bills. So I'm already seeing some stupid comments. Alex saying it's time to unleash N'Keal Harry 2.0. You're joking, right? All right, that's just so stupid. I had to bring it up right now. But we're going to have a great show on this Friday about Treylon Burks, a punt return conversation. We got some video there. And then, is it too soon to do something for this Titans team before we get to Ain't That Good News, wrapping up our week? So, Sam, welcome in, and glad to have you on this morning.
Yeah, man, great. Ready for all the conversation that's coming here. 0-2 start, not giving up hope just yet, though, and ready to dive into this rookie wide receiver. But we got to make sure everybody's getting involved in the conversation this morning. So if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, however you're consuming this morning's show, make sure you go ahead and share that show. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, share that link, tweet that link. If you're on Facebook, just hit the share button. It's that easy right there. You can make sure all your friends see it. We want people to engage in this conversation. Let us know their thoughts on Treylon Burks and the Titans start to the season. But that starts with sharing the show. That's the best way to support and make sure we can grow at A to Z Sports. Do that before we get started here.
Yep, so let's officially get things rolling on this Friday. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Sam Phelan, our A to Z Sports Titans reporter, in for Zach Bingham today. We go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time because we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Find links to the show on our Twitter timeline, also on our Instagram, and find us on TikTok as well. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for you and they help out us as well to keep the business going. But Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process by going to see them in Lebanon or check them out, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans, get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans at fbhp.com/ATOZ. And Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call them today at 800-800-4600. So, Sam, I'm going to scroll back up because I did want to go back to the stupid comment to kick off the day. Alex M. on YouTube says, time to unleash N'Keal Harry 2.0. You are joking, right? So I think it's incredibly dumb to compare Treylon Burks to N'Keal Harry 2.0. And I think Treylon Burks has had a really solid start to his career in the first two games of his career. Regardless of the outcome for the Titans in the win-loss column, Treylon Burks has done his job. Sam, you mentioned some numbers and analytics about Treylon Burks in our pre-show conversation that show really what he's been able to do. Hit us with him.
Well, I mean, we've talked about just initially Treylon Burks' ability to create separation, how well he graded analytically in week one in terms of getting separation from his defender. And now through 2 weeks so far, Treylon Burks is the number 2 highest graded PFF rookie in all of football, and he's number 1 in offensive rookies. So he's the top rookie wide receiver in terms of his grades. Another stat that I stumbled upon here from Zachary Kruger at NBCS Edge. Treylon Burks leads all Titans receivers with his target share, but he's also 6th in the entire NFL in yards per routes run. So they're using him as that deep threat in terms of how far he's heading down the field, all of those sorts of things, where Treylon Burks is not only getting that separation and grading very well in those areas, he's an efficient and effective blocker. They're also showing that, he's running downfield and trying to make plays downfield for them. He's had a few opportunities already through just 2 weeks of his career.
Yeah, they haven't connected on like the pure deep balls yet. That they threw a couple against the Giants. He could have drawn, 40+ yard defensive pass interference. Now, somebody does ask, who's first? Nick Ewing asked, who is the highest graded rookie? Do you have that on the top of your hands, or is it just the Burks?
I know I believe it was an undrafted defensive back, and they were
interesting.
Yeah, so I don't remember the name.
Was it like the Broncos corner?
I can try and I'll find it here. Okay. I'll have it in a couple minutes. So
I got you. I got you.
So
let's hear from Ryan Tannehill, who talked to the Titans media, and Sam, you were in attendance for this press conference. About what Treylon Burks has been able to do for the Titans offense thus far.
Treylon's done some really nice things. He's made some plays for us, and we're gonna have to continue to press into him to make more plays. He's got talent. He's shown what he can do. So now we expect him to go out there and play to that level each and every play.
From your perspective, what is it that makes it, so likely, so easy to hit him on those passes across the middle? Is there a certain skill set that he has that stands out to you that makes you like to hit him in those situations?
Well, he's doing what we're asking him to do, and that's all you can ask for is for him to go play fast and do what we ask him to do. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he has great hands, good body control, and he's jumped in with both feet and doing exactly what we asked him to do. So that's all we can ask for at this point. And like I said, look forward to continue to press him to make more plays.
So Tannehill there, Sam, said he's doing what we've asked him to do probably 3 or 4 times in that 48 seconds. So Sam, here's my opinion. Ask him to do more. No, don't ask him to do more. Tell Treylon Burks to do more. Give him more opportunities, because we're seeing all these analytical stats about how he's creating separation. He's tops up there in yards, depth per route run, and he's making plays. He's converting first downs. He's getting yards after the catch. I know in week 1, he led all rookie wide receivers in yards after the catch gained. So just give him the damn ball more, because here's what I'm watching with this Titans offense. And I will use a Buck Rising term from back in the Marcus Mariota days, that the Titans offense looks constipated, right? It's without A.J. Brown, that is a proven deep threat, without a guy who NFL teams know when they get in the stadium can beat you deep. The defenses are sucking up on Derrick Henry. They're going after Ryan Tannehill. They're doing all these things that are constipating the Titans offense and making them play in, the metaphorical phone booth, right? And so without Treylon Burks being able to be unleashed, the Titans offense will be and stay in that metaphorical phone booth. And they're just stuck inside, and defenses are saying, okay, go beat us deep with guys that you haven't been able to prove. So what I want to see is more of Treylon Burks, because if he's doing good things and he's doing everything that you've asked him to do as an offense, ask him / tell him to do more and see if you can unlock this offense.
Yeah, it's the thing with Treylon Burks is he's really shown, or been the only one to show, he has the capacity to make X plays. And that's something the Titans offense have been talking about, is what they've lacked. They're not explosive enough. They had one explosive play, which is defined as just an offensive player of 20 more yards. They had one of those last week, and it came to Treylon Burks on like a little screen pass that he ran for 18 yards after the catch to pick up a first down and third down and 18. But he has the speed, he has the body. And Austin, I would also refer to you as he's had an opportunity in both of his games to have deep touchdowns. I don't know if you remember the game or the play against the Giants where he was wide open over the left side of the field on a go route. Tannehill threw him the ball. It looked like he got tripped up by the defender. There was no flag, and people weren't happy about it. The Titans have said they missed him on another opportunity to do that, and Tannehill just didn't see him, but he was wide open with touchdown potential on one of the empty set formations that they ran. So I do agree with you in that sense of this is your explosive play guy, and that's what you drafted him to be, right? You traded A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks, knowing that the skill sets were similar.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a way to use that skill set in a similar way, because right now they're not. And right now it's affecting Derrick Henry, affecting the way a defense can key on the Titans offense, and affecting your offensive line, where we've seen Derrick Henry keep getting hit in the backfield, and you think it might stretch the field a little bit, give your offense a little bit more time. If you have a guy that you're like, oh, we can throw the ball up to him. We can use him to try and, make a defense at least think twice about it or have to be on their heels.
Yeah, and so Chris Frazier, who is a consummate troll on Titans social media, Burks ain't elite Brown, Austin. And again, I'm not saying that Treylon Burks is A.J. Brown. Like, I'm not that stupid, Chris. But do they have similar skill sets? Yeah, they do. Like, do they have a similar style of play? Yes, they do. They have the physicality. They have the ability to create separation, massive hands to catch balls away from their body, and the ability to beat people with their legs after the catch. So how about this, Chris? How about this? Treylon Burks only needs 25 more yards against the Raiders to surpass A.J. Brown's first 3 games in his career.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're waiting on it to talk about it. Yeah. No, go ahead. I'll let you cook here.
Yeah. I'll just say it again. All Treylon Burks needs to do is get 25 yards against the Raiders, and he beats out what A.J. Brown did his first 3 games. Now, I'm not because the Titans didn't trade away rookie A.J. Brown. They traded away year 4 A.J. Brown, which is different than rookie Treylon Burks. I'm not that dumb either, Chris. But again, I think that's legit. I think that's a very good start and promising start for Treylon Burks moving forward.
Well, and what is the conversation if they do connect on one of those deep balls I talked about, right? What if this Treylon Burks start that a lot of people are optimistic about also has a 70-yard touchdown in the mix, also has a big play that Treylon has been just right on the edge of completing so far, right? It feels like the bubble is about to burst, and the Titans just have to give it a little pop, right? They have to let him be that in their offense and trust him to be those plays. You talked to me about it off the air, but you feel like the Titans are protective parents over Treylon Burks. You can't be the protective parent all the time and still trust your kid to go make friends. Yeah. Like, you have to kind of let them go on their own a little bit. And right now, I think Treylon is earning that opportunity.
All right. And some more people saying he had 47 yards. Why are we drooling over this? Now, we're not saying that Treylon Burks has done enough. We're just saying that he needs to do more. And the Titans need to force it to him to do more. Like, if you look at what Treylon Burks has done in the first 2 games of his career, 55 yards, 47 yards on limited opportunity, give him more, right? He's playing less than 40% of the snaps. Give him more.
Playing less than 40% of the snaps, on pace to have like a 900-yard season playing less than 40% of your snaps. So that's why we're freaking out about it. We're freaking out about the opportunity here to give this kid more opportunity.
Let's say this, because if Treylon Burks plays double his percentage of snaps, so let's just say he plays 75% of the snaps, he's hitting 80. He had an 80 or 90-yard game against the Bills, maybe, and then possibly flirting with 100 against the Giants. Nobody's complaining if he has those numbers, but people are complaining about 55 and 47 yards without recognizing that he's playing less than 40% of the snaps. So if you give him more opportunity, and if you throw him the ball more, then maybe he can do more and be more productive for you, hence unlocking the offense. Because I truly think that if Treylon Burks can prove that he can be a deep threat and can take the top off the defense, that old cliche, then Derrick Henry in the run game will be more successful. So, Sam, let's go ahead and ask our question to get everybody more involved. And I know that you and I kind of disagree a little bit on this, but what's the minimum amount of targets Treylon Burks needs versus the Raiders? What is the minimum amount of targets that Treylon Burks needs against the Raiders. But first, let me tell everybody about our friends at Farm Bureau Health Plans. FBHP.com/ATOZ is where to go for your new health plan. Get better health coverage by going to, again, FBHP.com/ATOZ. And they can help you out. Better coverage, better rates, better service. Zach Bingham has saved 20% a month on his new health plan and actually gets to use it, whether it's a teledoc, whether it's going to the dentist regularly, or getting his contacts. They can help you out. And it's a great time to become a part of the Farm Bureau Health Plan family right now. FBHP.com/ATOZ.
And today's show is powered by BetMGM. That's BetMGM Sportsbook. You can use our promo code ATOZ Sports on the BetMGM app and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 on pro football. That's right. Football's here. That's like my favorite thing to bet. It's most people's favorite thing to bet. So if you have any picks on pro football this weekend, if you want to back your Titans, whatever you want to do, risk-free up to $1,000 when you use the promo code ATOZ Sports. At betmgm.com or the betmgm.com app. It's basically free money, right? It is a bet that you can place that you feel good about, and you get a second chance even if it doesn't work out. So you can't beat that deal anywhere. ATOZ Sports at the BetMGM app, and get your bets in for pro football here as the season gets into full stride.
All right, now real quick, I'm the crew. Ask Austin, where can I buy that A to Z hat? Yeah, Sam is rocking the A to Z hat today. And I've got one. You can go buy it at shop.atozsportsnashville.com. That's shop.atozsportsnashville.com. So, all right. So back to our regularly scheduled question and conversation. What's the minimum amount of targets Treylon Burks needs against the Raiders? Now, some people are going like way overboard because Gary says 14. Josh says 14 targets and at least 9 catches. Look, that's a lot. Like Michael says 12, needs to be short passing because of the O-line. Let him make plays. Like Treylon Burks had 6 targets against the Bills and 5 against the Giants. So anybody that's saying 10 or more, like we're asking minimum. What's the minimum amount of targets, not like what you're predicting? So what's like the floor of what Treylon Burks needs to have? Sam, I'll send you to the comment section some more to read some more comments. What's the minimum amount of targets that Burks needs to have against the Raiders?
Let's see, Rich says 7 to 8. Hail to the Mischief says 8+. Chad says 7 or 8. Here's Jermel with 12. I'm the crew with 10. We got 8 from Matthew, 8 from Jake. We got a lot of 8s in the chat here. That seems to be the consensus. Brent says 10. Titans Kyle is at 7. Eric is at 7 minimum. 10 from Bald and Bearded. A couple more 8s from Top Tier and Jacoby. Jesse at 10. Jacob at 10. Lane at 10. Steven says 15. I think that's a little bit ambitious from Steven there. Kay says 10. Jonathan says 8. So 10 and 8, getting a lot of 10s and 8s so far. So Austin, Justin's at 8, Grim's at 8. Justin, Austin, what is the number for you? Are you with the chat on 8 targets, or are you thinking a little bit more than that? For what's your minimum for Treylon Burks?
Yeah, I actually think the minimum is 8, right? Like, and I saw a comment here. Honky Tonk says 12 targets may only yield 7 to 8 catches. Also, that's fine. Like, but Treylon Burks is averaging 15 yards a catch through 2 games. So do the math there.
7 to 8 catches over a full season is over. I mean, that's a 100 catch season. So
and 7 times 15 is 105 yards. So nobody's complaining. Like, that's what you want, right? Because this is still a running football team, right? Like, we know this. We've talked about this early in the week. They want to run the football. It's no surprise. So if you run the football and give Treylon Burks a minimum 8 targets a game, and I would like it to be 10, but let's start at a minimum of 8. And then now you can start climbing that and get to a point to where he can have 7 catches a game, or 5 to 7 catches a game, averaging 15 yards a pop. And now you're starting to really open up the offense even more to where everybody else can, focus on or stop just selling out on stopping Derrick Henry.
Yeah, this is where I disagree with you. This is where I agree with everything we talked about before about Treylon needs to be utilized in the same capacity of AJ Brown to some extent because of his skill set, right? And because you're lacking that X plays guy. But I do think I don't believe in the philosophy of setting a minimum targets on anybody. And I think it's all relative to the NFL. It's all relative to the defensive scheme that you're seeing against you and what they're kind of doing in coverage. And you see the big difference. I think Devontae Adams of the Raiders had like 17 targets in week 1 and had 2 in week 2. And it was just a drastic change between the look Arizona was giving Derek Carr and his ability to find Mac Hollins and find Hunter Renfrow and some of the other options there. I don't want to put any expectations on Titans play callers or Treylon Burks to put a number amount on Treylon Burks. I do think he needs to be heavily involved in the offense. You need to try and see if you can scheme him open to make big plays. And you need to trust him. That's what it comes down to. But I don't want Ryan Tannehill forcing the ball to anybody. I don't think the Titans do either. So there is no number for me. The number is 0, 1, 2, whatever. Like however.
No, there's no way it could be 0. There's no way he's your first round pick, Sam.
I know what you're saying, and I do agree with that concept. But I do not believe in putting a number on the guy. So I will say 0 is the minimum because you take what a defense gives you in the NFL.
No, BS, Sam. He's your first round pick. You're
Chris
investing.
Says, Sam, you're not playing the game correct. But Austin, if he's in double coverage, do you want them forcing the ball to you just because he's a first round pick? You have to get the ball to who's open.
No, yes. Like after the snap, yes, you throw the ball to who's open. You don't force it into double, triple coverage. I'm not being stubborn there. The point is designing the play and saying we need and talking for the Titans. The Titans need Treylon Burks to get the ball more. Is that true statement?
Yeah, no, I do think yes, I do.
So draw it up, make it happen.
I think you draw up a play to get Treylon Burks open.
There needs to be more of those plays.
I agree. Treylon Burks needs to be your primary read, but when you're talking about targets. I don't. So people are telling me to give a number. My number is 0. That's my number because I don't believe in the idea of Treylon Burks needs to get the ball thrown to him this amount of times. If he's not there, he's not there. That being said, they absolutely need to make him the primary read on more of Ryan Tannehill's progressions because he is your big playmaker receiver. He is your most reliable guy as of right now, and he's proven he can get separation and get yards after the catch. That's all true. But saying they have to get him 8 targets, they have to get him 10 targets, that can be maybe the goal. I don't know.
I think it needs to be a goal. It's get the damn guy the football. Like you drafted him. Like look at all that you gave up to get Treylon Burks. And we talked about this on a show a couple weeks ago that, you didn't get just Treylon Burks for AJ Brown. You got a bunch of other draft picks that you were able to flip and get into some, starting caliber players like McCreary and NPF and Kyle Phillips too. But this is the guy that you drafted for the future. And I'm with Orlando. I'm booing Sam and throwing tomatoes all over this because if you want him to be your number one guy, you have to give him the football, feed him the football. He should touch the ball the second most on the team behind Derrick Henry, not counting Ryan Tannehill.
Austin, you are misrepresenting a target versus a progression.
No, I understand that.
Because this is what we talked about week 1. Austin Hooper was the Titans' game plan going into the Giants game. That's what they came out and said.
Then that game plan was executed. So if Austin Hooper was the focus of the game plan against the Giants, but he didn't get a football thrown to him until the 59th minute of the game, then this is a bigger situation and a bigger problem.
But this is what we talked about with them. Is Todd Downing and Mike Vrabel both said, just because he didn't get the ball thrown doesn't mean he was number 1 in the progression. But you have to be open. You have to be open. So I think they need to start scheming around Treylon Burks more. But I cannot put a number or expect any sort of number on, they have to throw him the football a certain amount of times. I don't believe in that. If Treylon Burks wants the football, he has to get open. That plain and simple.
Yes. So get him open. One,
it's not on a coach to get a guy open. It
can
play, but the receiver has to make a play.
Sure. It's not solely on the coach to get the guy open, but there is such a thing as scheming wide receiver route concepts to get people open. Like we're watching NFL teams everywhere but Nashville scheme open wide receivers and target their best guys 15 times a game. But the Titans can't seem to do it.
Well, all of those teams have better weapons than the Titans do, right? And when your primary guy is a rookie and your second receiver is coming off an ACL surgery, you don't have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Again, there is a difference. Yes, it's easier on Mike McDaniel to just say, hey, Tyreek, just run fast, and then Tua throws it. That's easier to execute. But Mike McDaniel was hired. Why? Because he's an offensive mind who runs good route concepts. And now you're seeing Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill combined for nearly 30 targets a game. And so that's great. They're giving their best players opportunities. It's like I correlate a lot of things like to basketball, because I do think you've got to get your best shooter shots. And defenses are always going to say, we can't let this guy get his shots.
And you know how you win the game? You pass it to the guy that's open in the corner and let him hit it in the big
Not
game.
If he sucks at shooting.
Somebody else has to step up.
Sam, sometimes people are open for a reason because they can't make the shot. And so what do? If let's go back to the Detroit Pistons, right? Let's go back to 2003, 2004. Rip Hamilton was a freaking beast. Why? Because he ran off 5 screens every offensive set. They got Rip Hamilton the basketball for him to make shots. So get Treylon Burks the ball. Get him the ball. Let him do things. And I don't disagree with the fundamental thing of what you're saying. I'm just telling the Titans, screw it, figure it out, and open up your offense. Because your offense right now is locked up. It's tight. Everybody's playing in a phone booth because you're not giving the guy the football.
I agree with that concept. I do think they need to find a way to get Treylon. It's what we talked about right off the jump, right? It is allowing him to make big plays, giving him a chance to make big plays. My point is just, I don't think the most effective offense for the Titans is get Treylon Burks the football. It is give Treylon Burks an opportunity to make plays and play off of what's there when you do that. And so if that means that he takes the safety deep and you can get a couple looks to Kyle Phillips across the middle, that's what that means to me. If it means Nick Westbrook-Akine gets more touches on timing routes because Treylon's running deeper routes, that's what that means to me. I fundamentally just disagree with the idea of, well, give him the football, because if you want to go back to your NBA analogy, that's where you've got James Harden and you've got the guy with 47 points and you look up, he's taking 42 shots on 38% efficiency. Our rookie had 100 yards, but our offense doesn't do anything.
No, and Sam, you don't know me. Again, we have a very young relationship. You've only been working with us for 4 or 5 months. I cannot stand James Harden. We have not had this off-air conversation. There is a difference of James Harden being an isolate dominant guy who stalls the offense versus the Rip Hamilton analogy, which is all 5 guys working to get their best shooter the spot, right? Where James Harden is the one guy with 4 guys watching. There's a complete difference.
I don't think you need to force the ball to Treylon Burks in order to spread out the field.
No, and again,
the same way, Austin, I'm going to keep going back to basketball, whatever. You don't need Stephen Curry to shoot threes to clear out the lane for Draymond Green. Because the threat of having Steph Curry out there is big enough and great enough to a defense. All the Titans need to do is allow Treylon to run the routes necessary to open the field. That doesn't mean you force him the ball. We're talking about targets. We're not talking about progressions. And putting a minimum number of targets on a guy is encouraging Titans play callers, encouraging the Titans quarterback to throw the ball at him just because you have to. I don't think you have to.
I think this is great because I've seen people saying that I'm dominating Sam. I'm people saying Austin, Sam's kicking your butt. I'm saying both, which is perfect. That means we have a good conversation. So if you want to say who do you agree with in the chat, Austin or Sam, Sam or Austin, tell us who you agree with. I kind of want to go a live poll with this thing. But so you mentioned Steph Curry, like his shooting has been established, right?
Right.
Treylon Burks hasn't been established yet.
Okay.
Derrick Henry's been established. So let's continue the basketball analogy. Teams are doing hack-a-shack right now on the Titans offense, right? It's every time Derrick Henry gets the ball, it's suffocating. It's stuffing them up. Hack-a-shack is in full force, and Derrick Henry's not hitting his free throws because the offensive line's not very good, but you need big Bob Robert Ory who can knock down the shots. I'm not saying that Treylon Burks needs to be Steph Curry, the focal point. I'm saying he needs to be the dude who can hit the shots to help out Shaq down low, to help out the hack-a-shack, because you can't suffocate Derrick Henry and then let guys hit down threes, because it's the same thing happens, right? 3 points in basketball is more than 2 points. Easy math. 14 yards average per first down completion is more than 4 yards first down yards per carry. So you can't give up the open three to a guy that you know can make it. But right now, defenses are saying, shoot it. And the Titans are saying, well, we're going to keep the guy on the bench 60% of the time that might be able to make it, and only play him 35% of the snaps.
No, again, I agree he needs a higher snap count. I don't think you're factoring in your guy might not make the shot. And the more the Titans try it and the more shots they miss, the more they put themselves in the box. I think you're operating from this idea. It's like, well, if you throw Treylon Burks the football, it's going to be a completion and work out, and then it opens up everything. If you try and throw Treylon Burks the football, it's not working, you throw an interception, it gives teams all the more reason to be like, oh, yeah, they can't really do that, can they?
Yeah, but Sam, let's think about this. Let's look at the Treylon Burks has 11 targets, right? The 2 targets that he didn't catch the ball against the Giants were both deep balls. One sailed out of the back of the end zone. Right. It was just kind of a mock throw away from Tannehill because it wasn't there, so he just threw it out of the back of the end zone. The other one should have been a 40-yard pass interference, right? Yep. So where's the harm? Where's the harm? There's no harm. Well, there's no harm against the Giants.
Ryan Tannehill threw 2 interceptions yesterday, did not have his best day, and he was staring down a primary read most of the time. That's where the harm is.
Those weren't targeting Treylon Burks, right? So we're talking about Burks here because you said forcing the ball to Treylon Burks could lead to interceptions. I don't want to force
the ball to anybody leads to interceptions.
Yes,
that's my problem.
I'm not saying force it to him. I'm just saying you got to play him more to get him more involved, because right now the only dynamic guy that I've seen is Treylon Burks. Like, Kyle Phillips is not dynamic. He's good, not dynamic. Robert Woods, not dynamic. Austin Hooper, I think, is good, not dynamic. Derrick Henry is not dynamic right now. But I've seen Treylon Burks catch 7 passes. He looks pretty good. He looks like he can be dynamic for you. And so make that number bigger.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I just think I think the primary idea of putting a target number on a guy is forcing the ball to him, to me, of being like, you have to get him this many targets, right? That was the question. Minimum number of targets. If that's what your mindset is, that is forcing the ball to me. That's not good football. It's not smart football. And I agree with you on the concept of Treylon needing to be more involved. I've been really, really impressed with him. He is their best weapon, their most explosive weapon. All of those things can be true, and you still have to approach an NFL game with an open mind of, we have to take what's there at the end of the day, and that is where the Titans are today. Whatever Treylon can do to help the offense, you need to allow him to do. But that might be clear space for the next guy. And you do have to complete a couple of them, but I fundamentally disagree with and will never agree with the idea of, well, so-and-so needs a certain number of targets. I think that's wrong. And I think it's a lazy game plan to
well, no, I think it's a good game plan if you scheme up to get the best guy on the outside more target. That's a good game plan. You be smart about it, intentional about it, not lazy about it. But let's switch gears here, Sam, and have another Treylon Burks topic, because one of the Titans coaches says Treylon Burks came to him and says, I want to do it. So we'll talk about that. Here is our question now. Who would you rather have return punts? Kyle Phillips for one more game or give Treylon Burks a shot? Who would you rather have return punts? Kyle Phillips for one more game or say give Treylon Burks a shot? But first, let me tell you guys about Hughes and Coleman. If you have been injured in a car wreck, there is one place to call. That is 800-800-4600 for Hughes and Coleman. They are the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans, and they can help you get all the money you deserve from the insurance company. So check them out and call them if you've been injured in a car wreck. Hughes and Coleman, they've recovered over $1 billion for their clients in the state of Tennessee, also in Kentucky. So once again, Hughes and Coleman, 800-800-4600, principal office in Nashville, Tennessee.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM, and the NFL is really in full swing now. It's football season. I know baseball playoffs are coming up, and a couple people are looking forward to some other stuff, but it's college football and it's the NFL. And if you're watching the Titans or any other NFL game this weekend, you can use promo code ATOZ Sports. That's ATOZ Sports at the BetMGM.com or the BetMGM app, and you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Place any bet you want with that promo code, and if it doesn't hit, you get another free bet of the same amount. That's risk-free right there because you get 2 chances at it. No reason not to do that right here. So if you're looking to get involved in betting, maybe you've been skeptical, being like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do it. I don't want to lose that much money. This is how you can minimize your risk right now with code A to Z Sports at the BetMGM app or BetMGM.com. Pro football. This is a pro football bet, and it's risk-free up to $1,000 with that promo code.
All right. So, Sam, I'm going to send you to the chat and have you read off the answers here because we're about to play a comment from Craig Ackerman. Who would you rather have return punts? Kyle Phillips for one more game or Treylon Burks? And I'll go ahead and play the Craig Ackerman video because, Treylon Burks is stepping up, it sounds like.
What about Burks? I know there was mention he was back there during camp.
Yeah.
Is that something that you may approach?
Sure. Treylon was another guy who came up to us after the unfortunate incidents of, dropping the punt, but he wanted to be back there and he came to me and said, Coach, put me back there. I want to be the guy. We just went down the list of Amani and then Robert. And then obviously if things weren't going to work out, Treylon would have got an opportunity. The great thing about Treylon is, he came up to us and said, I want to do it. And you're always looking for a player to do that, like Amani did, like Robert Woods did, said, hey, put me back there, I can do it. So we'll find out what Treylon can end up doing, but he's getting better each and every time he gets out on the field, which is good.
So there's Craig Ackerman, the Titans special teams coach. Treylon Burks stepping up, says, I want to do it. Who would you rather have return punts? Kyle Phillips for one more game or Treylon Burks? What's the chat saying?
See, we got KP from Coach Nate, Kyle from Swaim Screen. DJ Rowland goes off script. He wants Hassan Haskins back there.
Hassan Haskins, to my knowledge, did not return or catch a single punt in training camp.
That is true, but he is back there doing kicks, so
right.
I can
different, very different though.
Yeah,
very different.
True. P Loaded says Phillips will get it together. Phillips one more try. Give Burks his shot. Phillips, Kyle Phillips. That seems to be the consensus. Kyle, KP, Kyle Phillips. Eric says Treylon Burks, whatever it takes to get the ball in his hands. That is that spin zone of that debate we just had, as well as the conversation that happened during training camp with Burks over, sticking him back there and the risk of that while also having him be an explosive playmaker. Champ says Burks, fool me once, fool me twice. Jimbo says give Phillips another opportunity. Tim says Phillips. Honky Tonk breaks the rules and says neither, which is the Sam answer, I suppose.
Yeah, right. The new Sam answer.
John Bill says Kyle. Apollo says Kyle. Marco's also on neither. Tiffany's on Phillips. Justin says Burks. Steven's on Phillips. And Matthew Levy says Robert Wood. So a lot of answers. I think Phillips wins pretty handily if you're doing a poll here with the audience. But Austin, who's your guy?
I'm glad we didn't get to the Mason Kinsey comments because they were there. You just didn't get deep.
I didn't get that far.
You didn't get that far. There was a few Mason Kinseys who is still
I'll go find him. Mason
not
Kinsey,
on the roster.
yeah.
He's just not on the roster. And the last time Mason Kinsey, the only time Mason Kinsey got in there to play in a regular season game, he allowed a punt to drop inside the 5-yard line. So I think Kyle Phillips is still the better option for sure when you're comparing him to Treylon Burks, because while Burks got better and Ackerman's saying he's getting better every time he does it, it's whenever I watch Treylon Burks in training camp catch punts, he's still not consistently doing the right thing as elbows to your side, elbows in to catch the punt. Burks has a tendency to go catch it with his hands, which is not what you want to do. And it's, Mason Kinsey is on the Titans practice squad still, Orlando. So yes, but I think Kyle Phillips is the answer as of right now. And Chris and other people are mentioning my hair. Did I dye my hair? No, there's a window above my head, and I guess the sun is making it look lighter
tips today.
Yeah, no, it's see, look, it's the same. It's just I gotta fix that. It's fall, right? Second day of fall, and the sun's hitting a little different. So no, but I say Kyle Phillips for sure.
Of the two, I have to go Kyle Phillips, and it is the Treylon Burks thing with he also hasn't really proven his ability to catch them consistently from the practice reps you or I have seen. We don't know if he's broken some of those habits yet. I don't think the Titans would put him back there, but outside of all things, you need him on the field for the offense, and why risk putting him back there at this point in time? And Craig Ackerman denied this being their mindset during the press conference, but you feel like it has to be. Find someone that can catch the ball. That's really all that matters. And I know you don't want to go with the Mason Kinsey comments. I think there might be a little bit more there than you want to believe here, because, I'll leave it at that. I think there might be a little bit more there than you might want to believe, but you need to find a guy that has proven he can catch the ball. And right now, Kyle Phillips is having a hard time tracking the ball, and he is a dangerous and dynamic returner. So you have an issue, right? Right. And it comes down to who can prove it in practices, who can prove it in the game. Because right now, Robert Woods was the only one that's gone back and fielded a punt in a game that hasn't muffed the punt so far. So maybe that's your option. But I don't want to see Treylon Burks back there. That does nothing for me at this point in time. And he needs to focus on offense and that route running and trying to get more involved, like we just talked about. So that needs to be what Treylon Burks' role is on this team right now. And I appreciate and like him stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, I can do this. Let me do this. But I think right now, Kyle Phillips is your guy until somebody else proves otherwise.
Right. A to Z Sports here live on this Friday. At least Orlando says I would look good with gray hair. There's been a lot of hair comments ever since that. But all right, let's shift gears again, because I think this is an interesting conversation, because the Titans are 0-2 facing the 0-2 Raiders in Nissan Stadium. The Titans are a 2-point underdog at BetMGM last I checked. Is it too early to change your expectations for this team? Is it too early to change your expectations for this Titans team? But let me tell you guys about the Bone & Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, make sure you know where to go, you know who to go to, and it's the folks in Franklin at the Bone & Joint Institute, with over a dozen doctors who specialize in any type of injury you could possibly think of. So check them out in Franklin, where the full main campus is, or they have satellite campuses and clinics in Brentwood, Nolensville, and Thompson Station, or at boneandjointtn.org.
Yeah, and today's show is powered by BetMGM. I've been talking about them. I'm going to keep talking about them. I love the BetMGM app. It is doing wonders for me here so far in the football season. So if you are looking to get involved in sports betting, sports gambling at all, or if you already have one, that doesn't mean you can't jump over to BetMGM right now, because with the promo code ATOZ Sports on the BetMGM app, you can have a risk-free bet on any pro football game up to $1,000 with that promo code. So if you're looking for a little bit of promo money, an opportunity to make a quick buck here, and you've got a pick for this weekend, BetMGM is your place to go, and promo code ATOZ Sports is what you put in the app to get that. So find a pick, get involved. Football is back and ready to go here, and so is BetMGM with the risk-free bet up to $1,000.
Yep, visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, since the only new customer offer. All promotions, set of qualifications, and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued with knowledgeable free bets or site credit for this expires 7 days. For problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Sam, the question, is it too early to change your expectations on the Titans this season? What's the chat saying that you see?
All right, scrolling back here, we've got no expectations are officially changed. Nick says already changed. Just win the South if they don't fire J-Rob.
John Robinson is nowhere near close to being fired.
No, that's not where they are with him. Let's see. Gary says, no way. It's just week 2. Deshaun says expectations are already changed. Brian, with a little bit more of a scorched earth approach, we suck, all caps. Jay Tyra says, no, if you expected to lose the first 2 games. Chris says no, but still have a chance to win the South. Titans Kyle says, yes, it is too early. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. No, it's how they've looked. So kind of a mixed answer. I think some fans are starting to get the feeling. Orlando says, yes, it's only week 2. We just need to focus on the division for now. Not too early. They can't block anymore. So pretty 50-50 here in terms of where fan morale is with this idea. 2 weeks in, 0-2 start, ugly start. Is it too early to change your opinion or expectations, rather, for the Titans in 2022? Austin, where are your expectations? And are they different from where they were maybe 2-3 weeks ago?
Well, so I was pretty clear on my expectations before the season began, and it was to win a playoff game. That's what I think the Titans can do. And so I still look, it's week 2. They've looked bad. If the Titans beat the Giants and then get blown out by the Bills, I don't think people are freaking out as much. The Giants loss sucks because it was one of those games that you felt like the Titans should win and count towards their win total. But the Titans can still win the division. I look at the Jags schedule. The Jags don't have an easy next couple of games.
There is no AFC South schedule that's easy, and that is because of the division matchups. If you want to go, I thought it to myself too. I'm like, maybe Jacksonville's a dark horse, and then you look and it's Baltimore, Kansas City, the Chargers. And it's like, I don't know if I see 9-10 wins there out of the Jags with that slate coming up.
Yeah, the Jags play at the Chargers and at the Eagles the next 2 weeks. You can automatically look and see, okay, they're 1-3, right? And then they play the Texans. So if the Titans can win their divisional games, which why shouldn't they be able to? They can still win the division. And if the Titans can win the division, then I still expect them to win that home playoff game. So yes, it's too early to change your expectations for this team. There are so many games left. I do think the 0-2 stat to miss the playoffs, where, since the merger, only 9% of teams who went 0-2 made the playoffs that year. Look, we've been over this, that stat started when there were 14 game regular season. Then it moved up to 16. Now it's at 17. So there's more opportunity for the Titans to get back in there and climb out of this hole. So yes, it's still too early. You look at the Dolphins of last year, who started 1-7. Yes, they missed the playoffs, but the Bills are really good in that division. And the Patriots, there were 2 playoff teams in their division. The Dolphins started 1-7 and were in the wild card hunt up until the end. So that tells you a lot. The Colts started 0-3 and they were in the wild card hunt up until the very end. And then they lost in Jacksonville for the 7th straight time. So it's way too early to change expectations, in my opinion.
I'm on the other side of it again, because I think you not only is it not too early, I think you should have changed your expectations by now. And if you haven't, you're going to be disappointed, because I think one thing was very clear in Buffalo and has been clear. And I think the Titans can make the playoffs. I think the Titans can win the division. But what was clear in Buffalo is that the Titans are just on a different level from the top teams in the AFC. And that's not where they were a year ago. It's not where they were really at all in this Mike Vrabel era so far. You've always felt like even if they didn't have the best record, they could compete with the best teams. I don't think that's the case anymore. And that was something I at least expected out of the Titans coming in. We sat here on this show, and you sat here on this show expecting the Titans to at least play a competitive game with the Buffalo Bills. And one thing you learned really quickly is that they are just not on the same level as those top tier AFC teams. So I think that they are a playoff contender. I'm still picking them to win the division. I think your expectations have to have changed in terms of how much damage you realistically think they can do, though, because if not, I don't think you're paying enough attention at this point. And that doesn't mean it's impossible, but the expectation coming into the year was that you would be just as competitive. I think despite all the offseason stuff, the thought was John Robinson and Mike Vrabel and the coaching staff would have this team in another position to contend for a Super Bowl, and Derrick Henry would be his same old self. That stuff isn't there so far this year, and it should adjust your expectations for how much you get your hopes up for the Titans as this season plays out, because the Titans' schedule is tough too. I don't know if they can win 10 games. I think they can win 9 to 10 and probably win the division, but it's not going to be easy, and I think you're setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment and a lot of failure if you don't have some skepticism in terms of how much of a contender they actually are.
Oh, I have skepticism about the Titans being a contender in the AFC, but again, like the question is, it too early to change your expectations? Is more about the point of the season, but it also has to do with what your expectations were over 2 weeks ago, right?
I agree 100%. And I think that's what it comes down to. If you were just like, I expect us to maybe sneak into the playoffs and then we'll see what happens. No, it's not too early to change your expectations, because that's very much still on the table. And so about the AFC South all day. My expectation was that the Titans would be in another competitive spot to compete for a Super Bowl. Not saying they were going to go, not saying they were going to be the number one seed. I thought they could play with the best of them because that's what they've established their reputation as being. I believed that the Titans would play a competitive game with the Bills. I took the Titans. I bet on BetMGM that the Titans would win that game. They've taught me already that there's a big gap there. So I agree with you. It depends on what your expectation is. My expectation was for them to be a contender in the AFC. I think they've already kind of showed you that they're probably not at that level this year.
Okay. And so I did see Steven on YouTube says, what playoff team do you think the Titans can beat, Austin? Well, one, it's week 2. I'm sorry. Week 3 began last night. Who's going to make the playoffs? I don't know. I have no clue. But in this situation, the Titans are a division winner at home against a wild card team. So could the Titans beat a 5 seed? I think the Titans are going for that 4th spot, right? The AFC West, AFC East, and AFC North winners will probably have better records than the AFC South winner. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because there's only one win.
Yeah, I would assume you're playing for the 4 seed, but
right.
to your
so
point,
that's
in a playoff game. So it's...
Yes. So,
my spin zone of that, Austin, though, would be you're hosting a playoff game against the best wild card team. So if you're going based off of yearly projections, you might be looking at a date with the Chargers.
Well, okay.
They beat the Chargers. I don't know.
All right, Sam. Who was the 4 seed in the AFC last year?
The 4 seed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bengals.
Probably the Bengals. Yeah. Okay.
Who was the 4 seed in the NFC last year?
I'm gonna go ahead and guess the Rams. I don't know.
Yeah, the Rams. Yeah. So look, again, it's week freaking 2. It's the second day of fall. We just had the 21st day of September 2 days ago. Chill out. I'm kind of with Aaron Rodgers, and we haven't played that clip, and I don't want to pull it because I got to edit it. But the Aaron Rodgers thing is Mike Vrabel still the head coach? Yes. Do they still have Derrick Henry? Yeah. Can Ryan Tannehill still be really good on play action pass? Yes. So chill out.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you in that terms. Like I said, I still think they are my favorite to win the division. I think that's just the thing. It comes down for me of what I talked about earlier of what expectations changing is obviously relative to the point that they started at.
Yeah,
I had a little bit higher expectations for the Titans this year than you did. I've kind of come down to your line of thinking where it's maybe they win one playoff game, maybe they make the playoffs, but I don't think that they're in that top level of the AFC where they were. So that's why I say my expectations have changed so far. I also think it's okay to change your expectations based on, performance to save your heart, right? We don't want to be going into every week being like, oh, this is the one that we turn things around if they've told you everything otherwise. But it's also okay to get excited. If they rip off 5 wins in a row, it's okay to set the bar a little bit higher for the rest of the season as well.
Yeah, I'm with
As
you.
a fan, don't feel like you have to keep the same expectation for an entire season. And if you change it, then you're a traitor or you're not believing in your team. It's okay to adjust based on how your team performs, because your expectations should be dictated based on what they tell you to expect. To this point, Titans have told me not to expect much, and that's a lot different from what I came into the year thinking.
I agree with that. Don't be stubborn. Don't be married to your expectations. Just barely, don't even date your expectations. Like, be fluid with it. But
Yeah.
again, it's too early. I don't cheat on your expectations. Just don't even date them. It's too early yet. That I think it's important for us to ask this question pre-Raiders game, because 0-2 can
0-2
either
is a lot different than 0-3.
Oh, yeah. And 1-2 going into the Colts game, you feel okay, right? So I think that's why we wanted to go ahead and ask this question. But Sam, let's wrap up this Friday show with Ain't That Good News. I've got good news. I've also got anxiety coming up tomorrow, and I can't wait to talk about it. But first, let me tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. If you're looking for a new ride, check them out in Lebanon and make them a part of your new car buying process by going to Wilson County Hyundai, again, in Lebanon, off I-40, exit 236. It's a beautiful drive out there. Go see Payne Bone. He's one of our buddies, has been for a few years now, and he can help you out in whatever your situation is to find that right car for you. So check him out. He'll help you out with the price as well, the payment plan, whatever your financial situation might be. The Hyundai brand is a fast rising brand in automotive. So check them out, wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM. They've got a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with the promo code ATOZ Sports on the BetMGM app. That is a pro football bet of any dollar amount, from $1 all the way to up to $1,000, whatever you want to do. And with the promo code ATOZ Sports, you can place that bet risk-free. That means that you get a free bet of the same dollar amount if that bet doesn't hit. So if you've got a pick for this weekend, I've got a few picks this weekend. One of my picks this weekend, I like the Washington Commanders hosting the Philadelphia Eagles as a 5.5-point dog letdown spot for the Eagles. And that offense, sneaky explosive. Don't sleep on Carson Wentz and his 3 receivers. I'm just saying. I like it. He stinks, but he's great at covering the spread. But if you've got a pick for this weekend, go ahead and go to BetMGM and use the promo code ATOZ Sports. You can get that bet risk-free up to $1,000 if it's on pro football. So get involved with the BetMGM app. That's the best site to do it. There's no reason not to do it. We're talking free money and risk-free betting. Can't ask for much more.
Yep, and A to Z Sports Picks with Alan Bell and Brian Edwards today at 2:00. Alan's, I've already got, I think I have 4 texts from Alan this morning about what he's got coming up. So that's at 2 p.m. Central Time on these same Facebook and YouTube channels for A to Z Sports Picks with Alan and Brian. Time for good news. All right, ain't that good news here live on a Friday to send us to the weekend. And by the way, it is football season. So A to Z Sports has live videos 7 days a week. Saturdays with our Big Orange halftime and postgame show. I will be live with Jack Gentry on Sunday for Titan Game Day Live. Sam, you will be at Nissan Stadium, and Buck Rising will have Titan Game Day morning. So just because, look, we got A to Z picks at 2:00 today. Tomorrow for Tennessee, Florida halftime postgame show, 8:30 in the morning with Buck on Sunday. And then Jack and I got pre-halftime and postgame there too. So a lot of things going on. So let's get to some Ain't That Good News. Let's see. I'm going to go with Demetrius because good news, 1 day away from seeing UT run Florida out of Neyland Stadium. Statement game. So Sam, this is my good news. And again, you and I's relationship is really starting to build, right?
Yeah.
I have so much anxiety whenever the University of Tennessee plays on CBS. So I have even more anxiety whenever Tennessee plays Florida. And so when
it's just a CBS issue, or
when Tennessee plays on CBS, because they're usually playing Florida, Georgia, or Alabama.
Yeah.
So those, I think there's 3 wins since like 2007 against those 3 teams. And that's typically who CBS draws Tennessee with. So Yes, when I hear CBS music and the Tennessee logo, I start shaking with anxiety.
It's like yeah. I know what you mean. I know the feeling.
And so, like, I am very excited for this Tennessee-Florida game because I think Tennessee is going to win. I don't know if they're going to cover the 10 and a half or wherever it's at the time of kickoff. I don't know if Tennessee is going to cover the first quarter spread. But and Tress says it's real. Shannon's boyfriend says CBS PTSD. That is absolutely real. And so I truly it's my good news that tomorrow is the Tennessee-Florida game, because if Tennessee beats Florida, the trajectory of the season is up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what it looks like with our website, our business, when it comes to Tennessee being on the up and up. And so that's where I've got my heart and my wallet with business really on the line with Tennessee, Florida.
It's the elephant in the room for sure with any Tennessee fan right now. Things have been awesome, right? Like, things have been better than I think a lot of people even thought they could be so far to start this year. And I just talked to Tennessee fans. I'm like, man, Florida's so bad that they scare me. And I think that's the consensus. 10.5 is a lot of points. And then it's like Tennessee fans just have done it for so often that they start overthinking it now, where they're like, can we beat Florida even though we're 10.5 point favorites? And like, this team Florida's not proven to be very good. But yeah, that's the elephant in the room. I feel like you get Florida out of the way, and like you said, your season is up and up trajectory. It's going the right direction.
Yeah, and Anthony Richardson is the perfect Florida quarterback to just spoil Tennessee fans' dreams. Although, is he hurt? Is he not hurt? Is Cedric Tillman going to play? Like, there's so many things here. Ethan Green says the Vols played Pitt on CBS. No. They played Pitt at 2:30, but they played Pitt on ABC. So it's very different there. But they won that game. So that's my good news. Orlando says Austin has that Tennessee chokes again tweet ready to go. It's still pinned to my profile. If you go look at my Twitter profile, the pinned tweet is Tennessee completely choked again, or something along the lines of that, because it works for both the Titans and the
job by Tennessee.
Yes, that's it. What a choke job by Tennessee, because it's retweetable probably a dozen times a year. It was retweetable for Vols baseball, basketball, and football, and some Titan situations. So that my good news is Tennessee, Florida is so close, and I cannot wait. That's my good news.
All right. Well, let's see what the chat has. Malachi said, oh, that's not that. Let's see. Stacy says, my good news is I will be celebrating my 53rd birthday next Wednesday to the Longhorn Steakhouse with family and friends. Happy early birthday, Stacy, or if today's your birthday, whatever it is, but happy birthday from A to Z Sports to you. Let's see what else we got here. Good news. Home alone this weekend. Wife went to Salem to see the witches. Okay. So Rudy's got the place to himself. That's a lot of football this weekend.
It's almost spooky season too.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Jake says, good news. We don't have another primetime game for a while, so maybe we can figure out how not to get embarrassed in front of America.
Well, and the next primetime game is also on Amazon Prime. So maybe it's not all of America, but portions of America who can figure it out.
Sean says his good news. His son is making his first start at running back and outside linebacker tonight. He's been working hard for this opportunity at the new school. I know he'll kill it. Nice. Congratulations to you and your son for the opportunity. That is a proud dad moment that we love to see. So congratulations. Best of luck to him tonight. Tiffany's good news. She gets her first Saturday night off of the year this weekend. She's going to a wedding and getting it with a bunch of nurses and
getting lit with a bunch. So it's a hospital wedding. It sounds like
we like it. So
I'm down with that.
That's a good way to spend the first Saturday off. Is weddings are fun, and they're even more fun when you can get lit at the wedding. So
yes,
we like that. My good news. Austin,
yes, Sam.
My good news is I have a friend in town this weekend. One of my hometown friends from Chicago is down. I think he's just in town for a fun weekend with his cousin, but he texted me and said, hey, maybe we can get together at some point this weekend. So that is a good little taste of home, to be able to see somebody from home and a friend from home. Being down here, I miss him a lot. So that's a good news of the weekend, of having an opportunity to get together with a friend from the Chicago area.
All right, because you've been in Nashville for what, 2 years?
About 3 total.
3?
Yeah.
Where's your go-to place in Nashville to take somebody from home?
Man, that's the thing is I don't really like.
You don't go anywhere?
This is my issue with Nashville, and it not an issue with Nashville. It's an issue with me about Nashville. I don't get out enough, like in Nashville. Like people, I went to it. I had been living here for like 2 years, and I'm like, dude, I haven't even seen the Parthenon. Like, I don't even know what it looks like. And so I went to Centennial Park, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. I went inside. But like I've been here for over 3 years now, and I am just still very unfamiliar with a lot of the things. I think all the places that you would probably say are your go-tos for Nashville, I've probably never been. So I need to get more cultured in Nashville. Like, I have to get the Nashville culture down a little bit.
Well, Sam, I've lived less than 2 miles from the Parthenon for 7 years, and I have not seen the Parthenon once in the 7 years that I've lived.
Okay, so that makes me feel a little
bit don't feel
better.
bad about the part. I saw a Parthenon in 4th grade on a field trip, so I checked that off the box real young.
Yeah, so that's what I need. I need our listeners to go to my Twitter and send me a place to go. Like, I have to figure out, what are the Nashville spots that I'm missing out on, whether it's food, whether it's just something fun to do. I'm trying to do it all, but I feel like there's so much to do here that I also just kind of end up not being able to pick. And I feel like I'm missing out on all the good ones. So I have to experience Nashville culture a little bit more. Hit me up with that.
Yeah, flood Sam's Twitter for suggestions there for this weekend. All right, guys. Hope everybody has a great, safe weekend. Again, A to Z Sports Picks live today at 2 p.m. to get you set for college football, Tennessee, Florida, and Titans Raiders on Sunday. That's at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then Sunday morning, Buck Rising at 8:30 for Titan game day morning. That's at 8:30 a.m. Sunday. And then Jack Gentry and I will take pregame, halftime, and postgame shows starting at 11:30 for this noon kickoff. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Like the video, like all the videos, subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again. Do all those things for us there. Get your live notifications on. And we'll see you guys on Sunday. Appreciate it as always. Have a good weekend.